Hey there, I hope you're well. I wanted today to talk about my TEDx experience, like the kind of behind the scenes look. I've had a few people have asked me kind of how I did it, what was it like. So I thought I'd kind of explain on a video. And this actually fits quite well with like my modern learning culture, the kind of thing I've been talking about. Because it's part of that self-development and self-determination side where my manager didn't tell me to do TEDx. Nobody said you need to do TEDx to do better at your job. But it was something I wanted to do, which then made me better at my job in terms of more confidence and other things. So it all started with, to be honest, a bit of luck. My colleague was a TEDx volunteer. She set up a pitch session inside our company, and I applied. And I must admit, I didn't really feel like I had anything to say, or I didn't have a story. The theme was kind of future mobility. And I'm not an expert in future mobility. I'm not a product manager in that area. And a lot of people were, and they were kind of pitching their vision of the future. And I must admit I was a bit intimidated. But I basically thought, well, what do I like? What do I know? And I like film. And for some reason, as soon as I thought of the words future mobility, I thought of Jurassic Park, like the original one where the cars are running around on those tracks and kind of all self-driven and all that kind of stuff. And then as soon as I thought of Jurassic Park, the kind of famous line of just because they could doesn't mean they should. And it kind of then started to kind of more, and I was thinking, what could I do? What kind of topic could I be? And the key thing is the story. What story could I tell? I didn't want it just to be a kind of, this is me, this is what I do, etc. I wanted to be a story that people can engage with. I had a really great TEDx coach, which you get as part of the bundle, that helped me to kind of home in on my story and kind of ask me questions and kind of get my thoughts out. And once I got my story right, I practiced and I practiced. My 10-month-old, whenever she got up at 2 a.m, I'd get up every night and I would talk to her. In other words, I would tell my my TEDx talk. So it'd be interesting to know when she's older if she remembers any of this. So I practiced, and I got a lot of support from my colleagues, my friends and family to not only just give me encouragement, but also to kind of give me great feedback. But I'm going to cover feedback in another session because I want to elaborate on that side of things. So once I got kind of to the point where I was ready, I knew, not necessarily I knew the whole story off the top of my head, which kind of 90-80%, but I was happy with the first, say, 2 sentences. I knew them off the top of your head. And that's the one thing I would say to anybody that's got to do any kind of stage performance or presentation or talk, is know your first 2 lines off the top of your head. It relieves all the nerves, and as soon as you know that, then the rest of it can just flow. You may want to know the rest of it off the top of your head, but I was more like, I know the basics, I know the links of what part of the story links to the other, but I was happy with what I got. And because of all that practice and the feedback that I got, and I knew the first few lines, I wasn't that nervous. Yes, I was nervous, but it wasn't like kind of debilitating nerves. But the feedback I've had since was awesome. I mean, I didn't make any mistakes, thankfully. I've got some very good feedback afterwards. I even got the privilege of being one of the TEDx global kind of people on Twitter that they promote, which doesn't happen to everybody, which is a great thing. And it's one thing that I'd love to pursue, maybe not professionally, but at least kind of do more of them, either talks or whatever it is. So it opens up a lot of avenues. My advice would be, look out for your local TEDx team and don't just look at your town. Like if you're for me, I'm in Eindhoven in the Netherlands, but I actually did my talk in Rotterdam, which is up north. So, kind of look in your area for all these different TEDx talks and ask them what themes they're doing, and then think, not like, oh, that doesn't suit me or that doesn't suit me. Think of the story, because that's what TEDx are looking for. They're not looking for your life story. They're looking for an engaging story to help you or to help their audience to kind of share ideas. So yeah, it was a great experience. I would encourage everybody to do one. Even if you're terrified of being on stage, it's a life-changing experience. I'm actually now a volunteer in my local TEDx, and I did a lot of interviews with the talkers or speakers, whatever you want to call them, like a before and after. And the same kind of thing comes over and over again. It's an amazing experience. I learned a lot. I've grown as a person. So it's something I would recommend a lot of people to do. If you want any more information, please reach out to me. And if you're doing a TEDx talk, good luck, and speak soon.